Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a video basically where I go through every book that I read this summer and say if it's worth the read or not. Hopefully we'll just give y'all some ideas for your TBRs. It literally is the perfect day to film this. It's like gloomy and rainy outside, so it's so cozy. I kind of slacked off on reading this summer. I did not read as much as I would want to, but hopefully I have a good number. Okay, so I read a lot on my Kindle this summer because I was trying to find books in Kindle Unlimited so I didn't have to like go and buy them, and so that's kind of what made me choose this one because I was a little bit desperate. But it's called It's Not Me, It's You by Alex Light. Let me first off by saying I loved The Upside of Falling. I thought it was so good, which is another book by Alex Light. I did not like this one. It's not worth the read. I think it was just over the top cheesy. It was basically about this boy and this girl, and they both worked at an arcade, and that was like the main point, and it was a whole thing. So I just did not like the writing. I thought it was really cheesy. So yeah, not worth the read. Okay, this next one is called Happiness for Beginners by Catherine Sinner. Yes. Read it. It was so good. It exceeded my expectations. First off, I love Catherine Sinner. I love all her books. I did not have high hopes for this one. It was so good. It was so good. Basically, it was about the girl, I think she was recently divorced, and she decided to sign up for this wilderness thing where they go out in the wilderness and they hike. Basically like Survivor. And basically she ends up going with her brother's best friend who's like kind of crazy. And they fall in love. I just think it was so good. It literally was like I was watching a movie, so definitely read it. Next is A Not So Meet Cute by Megan Quinn. I'm kind of so on this one. I liked the idea of it, but it was a little too spicy for me. So it was about this like, I don't know, this rich guy, and he lied to one of his business partners, or like people that he wanted to be a business partner with, and said that he had a fiance, a pregnant fiance, and so he needed a fiance. And then this girl had like a reunion that she wanted to go to, like a high school reunion, and she needed a guy to go with to kind of, you know, show him off. And they end up like meeting each other on the street in the guy's neighborhood, and they're like fake dating, but it basically turns, yeah, they fall in love. I really did like the plot, but it just got a little bit too much for me, if you know what I mean. Okay, moving on. I actually read this one in person. Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. Read it. So good. I am kind of biased because I love all of Emily Henry's books. I will say this was not my favorite one of hers, and I feel like a lot of people said they did not like it, but I loved it. I loved it. It was not my favorite of hers, but I loved it, and I think it is totally worth the read. Basically, it's about these two writers, and they go to this little town to write about this famous lady that kind of lives off the grid now, and basically it turns into like a little bit of a competition kind of on who's going to write this book about the lady. And so yeah, they end up falling in love, and I think it's really good. Yeah, read it. Okay, next is called Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan, and basically it's about this girl who moves to a little small town, and she ends up meeting this guy who is mute, like he can't talk but he can hear, and basically like everybody thinks he's weird. Nobody really talks to him, and he's very like isolated in his house, and nobody has like a relationship with him, and he just had a really hard past, and so does the girl. She also had a pretty hard past, and so they kind of bond with that and end up becoming friends, and it's a really sweet friendship, and then they end up falling in love, and it's super duper cute, and I literally loved that book so much. So it's definitely worth the read. Okay, so the next book is Till Summer Do Us Part, another book by Megan Quinn. I thought this one was really fun. I would say it's a maybe read. It was also a little bit too spicy for me, but I did love the plot, and I thought it was really funny. So it's about this girl, and she's at work, and her boss, all of the people at her work are happily married, and so she just feels miserable because she's single. Yeah, it's a whole thing. And so basically she lies and says she has a husband, but her and her husband are like having problems, and her boss's husband is a marriage counselor, and so her boss is like, you can go to this marriage counseling camp with all of us. We're all going, everyone at the work. And so she ends up having to find somebody to go with her to pretend to be her husband, and they go to this camp, and it's just a whole little like adventure thing with her and her fake husband, and she and her fake husband end up falling in love, and it's a whole thing. So I definitely recommend if you're not put off by a little bit of spice. That was the only thing I didn't really love, but I did really think the plot was fun. So next is Before We Were Strangers by Renee Carlino, and this book is very bittersweet. Basically, it's about this girl and this boy, and they meet at college, and they end up like forming a friendship and all these things, and then they fall in love, and then guy goes off to do some photography thing, and basically they split apart and they don't see each other until like way later. Like their whole life has basically gone by, maybe not their whole life, but their life has gone by, and they find each other back together, and there's big like little plot twist, and yeah, I think it was worth the read. Next is called Jilted by V. Keelan. And honestly, I don't really remember much about this one, but I think it's about this wedding journalist maybe, and she ends up getting this job for a series of weddings for a bunch of frat boys, and she ends up doing this with her boss's son. They fall in love, and it's a whole thing. I thought it was a good book, but yeah, I don't know. It's a maybe read. It was a very fun, light book. So yeah. Next is Divine Rivals. I literally love. It's a fantasy book, but it also ties in historical fiction sort of feel. It is not historical fiction, but it gives that feel, and it's so good. It's basically about these two journalists, and they work at a newspaper company, and they're like enemies, and the girl goes off the fronts to write about the war that's happening, and he follows her. They fall in love, but there's like elements of magic. Sorry, I'm getting a call. I don't know, it's a very unique book, and the love and the romance and the yearning, oh my gosh, I love it. Definitely read, it's worth the hype. Also, I forgot to say it's by Rebecca Ross. I don't think I said that. Next is Ruthless Vows, which is the second book to the series, and honestly I really liked the first one the best, but obviously you have to read the second. I thought it was really good too. I felt like it was kind of drawn out, like so much was happening. I don't know, but it's definitely worth the read, and I just love that whole world in the book series. Okay, so my camera just died, but I plugged her in, so maybe we can get through this video. Okay, where was I? I think Ruthless Vows, but yeah, I definitely think you should read it. I don't know, I just love that series. Next is the Happy Ever After playlist by Abby Jimenez, and if you know me, you know that I am a big Abby Jimenez fan. I love all of her books. They're literally the best rom-coms, but they tie in like a sense of hardship and struggle in it, and like realness. Like it's not all light and happy. I love how she ties it in, but then also has that lightheartedness of the rom-com. She's just so good at writing. I will say though that all of her books have like at least one spicy scene, and yeah, don't love that, but I do love her book. This one was about, it's the second one to The Friend Zone. It's about this girl named Sloane, and her fiance dies in a motorcycle accident, so she's like depressed and not okay. And then one day this dog jumps into her car's sunroof. She has to take care of this dog until she can find the owner. Finally, the owner responds to all of her messages and is like, okay, I'm in Australia right now, but I can come sometime and get him. And basically the owner to the dog ends up being like a famous singer. They start talking on the phone first, and they like literally have so much chemistry and everything, and then they meet up so she can give him his dog back, and they literally like fall in love and everything, and kind of shows all of her struggles and these things. It was a little drawn out. It's definitely not my favorite of hers. My favorite is definitely Yours Truly. Love it, but it definitely was a good one, and I really did love it, so it's definitely worth the read. Next is The Wrong Mr. Right by Stephanie Archer. This was another book where I picked it because I was desperate and I needed one on Kindle Unlimited. I would say it's a maybe read. I loved the setting. It was like a small beach town, and I loved that, and I loved the characters, but it was a little cheesy, and it got a little spicy, which I didn't like. Like it got to a point, yeah, I was skipping a lot, but I did really love the storyline and I did really like the setting and the characters. So it's like a maybe read, just depends on what you like. But basically it's about this girl and she's like a bookworm. She runs her dad's bookstore and her mom like passed away when she was younger, but basically she runs this bookstore and doesn't do anything, like very introverted, and so she's getting older, she wants to find a guy and she wants to be a hot girl is what she said. And so this guy who owns a surf shop and he is training to be like a professional surfer, he's like the super hot surfer guy. She goes to talk to him and is like, I need you to turn me into a hot girl, and he's like, okay. And then it plays out like that and they fall in love. It's a maybe read, I don't know. It wasn't my favorite, but it definitely was interesting. Okay, my final book that I read this summer was My Oxford Year by Julia Wellen, but they did just come out with a movie. I definitely think the book is better, but the movie was good too. And let me just say, I don't want to spoil anything, but there's a big plot twist and it broke me. It literally broke me. So I'll leave it at that. But basically it's about this girl. She's been dreaming of going to Oxford her whole life and she makes it to Oxford, and it's basically just like her year in Oxford, and she meets a guy, and yeah. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil it, so I'll leave it at that. But I will say I definitely think it's worth the read, and I definitely loved the setting. Like it literally described the setting so well. I felt like I was there. Okay, so that's the end of my little book video. Let me know if you agreed or disagreed with any of my opinions or descriptions of these books. And let me know if you want to see more book content, because if you know me, you know I'm a big reader, and so I would love to do more book content. If you want to see it, comment below if you liked the video and what else y'all want to see. Thank you so much for watching, and I guess I'll see y'all in the next video.